Hello everyone, welcome to Anonymous World. Hope you're all doing well. So today is day 22 of Advent of Cyber 2023. So let's get started. So day 22 is SSRF, Jingle Your SSRF Bells, a Merry Command and Control hack venture. So today we'll learn about server-side request forgery, or also known as SSRF, types of SSRF that can be used to exploit the vulnerability, prerequisites for exploiting the vulnerability, how the attack works, how to exploit the vulnerability, and at last mitigation measures for protection. So it is a security vulnerability that occurs when an attacker tricks a web application into making unauthorized requests to either internal or external resources on behalf of server. Okay, so there are three types of SSRF attack: basic, blind SSRF, and semi-blind SSRF. Okay, so in basic SSRF, an attacker sends a crafted request from the vulnerable server to internal or external resources. In blind SSRF, the attacker does not directly see the response to the request. Instead, they may infer information about the internal network by measuring time it takes for the server to respond. And in the case of semi-blind SSRF, the attacker does not receive direct response in their browser application, but they rely on indirect clues, sites, information, or observable effects within the application. Okay, so prerequisites for exploitation. So you need a vulnerable input point, such as URL or file upload functionalities, and second, you need lack of input validation. Okay, so here the step is given. How does the SSRF work? So first step is to identifying a vulnerable input. This could be a URL parameter, a web form, an API endpoint, or a request parameter. Then we need to manipulate the input, followed by requesting unauthorized resources. So the application server, unaware of the malicious input, makes a request to a specified URL or resource. And this request could target internal resource, sensitive service, or external system. And finally, we need to exploit the response. Depending on the application's behavior and the attacker's payload, the response to the malicious request may provide valuable information, which can include internal server data, credentials, system credential, etc. Okay, so let's start our VM and attack box. Okay, so our machine is loaded. So let's open our terminal. Here you can see launch the virtual machine by clicking start machine at the top. Wait for 1 2 minutes, and you can access C2 server by visiting URL MacDuty secret tool.hm. But first we need to add hostname in our attack box. Okay, so let's edit our hosts file. So you can do that by doing sudo nano etc host. Okay, so we will add our IP address here. So it's 10.10.95.180, and then you need to write the host name. What was it? We will check again. Yeah, so is my 3D secret c2.thm. Save the file. Now we can access that. So open the browser. Okay, so we are in. Now we need to identify the vulnerable input. So once we visit the URL for the command and control server, we'll see that it's created by login panel. And CD's pentester team have launched different types of automated and malware scans to gain access, but all were in vain. So we can see there is one document accessing API. Let's go there. CD notice a link to documentation at the bottom of the page, and once we click there, it redirects to our endpoints API. Now that we have some URL, we can try SSRF attacks against them. So you can see you need to visit this particular endpoint machine IP, then get client data.php, and it accepts a parameter URL. Okay, where IP of the client followed by name of file you want to access. Okay, how many requests can be made in 1 minute? So there is no limit. Is there an IP protocol? So there is no whitelisting. And what is the file name that contains all important credentials? So it's config.php. So what we can do is request an unauthorized resource. For example, let's see here. So it tells credentials are stored in config.php. So we can read that file. See how. So go to 10.10. Okay, let's go in new tab. .95.180. Okay, then we have get client data dot php followed by URL parameter. So now instead of giving an external URL, we can read our file internally. So for that we can use file. Okay, so one example is given here of index.php. Let's try reading that. So var www html and index.php. Now it should list the content of index.php. So you can see it's listing the content of index.php. Similarly, we can read the config.php file. So instead of index, we will be reading config.php. So you can see it gives the username and password. Okay. So let's see. Is this the process in which the attacker tricks the server into loading only external resources? No, because we just read the internal files. Now it's asking for C2 version. So we can log in and check that. So let's log in. So username was McD, then password. Just copied and in. Okay, so you can see we are in. Let's see the version. So you can see version is written here. So it's 1.1. Now what is the username for accessing the C2 panel? We just saw it was McCready. What is the flag value after accessing the C2 panel? So you can see flag is written here. THM exploited 31001. Now what is the flag value of stopping the data exfiltration from the steady computer? Okay, so we need to stop the data exfiltration. So let's just do that. So let's just remove this. Are you sure? Yes, remove it. So you can see the agent has been removed and we got our flag. So it's agent removed 1001. So yeah, that was the correct. So here the mitigation measures are also given. So you can employ a strict input validation and sanitization to prevent malicious input, and also you can use whitelisting of the IP, like on this particular IPs must be allowed. Applying network segmentation to restrict requests to authorized sources, and finally you can also follow the least principle of least privileges and granting the minimum permission required for system operation. So that was it for day 22. And if you enjoyed this class, you can check out the SSRF room. So that's it for this video. I will see you tomorrow in day 23. Till then, keep learning.